Okay, so today I'm going to talk about Thanksgiving. It's a really important holiday in America. It's one of our most important holidays. In addition to Easter, Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving is probably one of our most important holidays. It's a day that we get together with our families, share good food, and just we spend a lot of time with our families on this day. So the history of Thanksgiving, in 1620, the Pilgrims sailed across the Atlantic Ocean. They left from England. So they left from England and they sailed west to get to America. They sailed on a boat called the Mayflower. The journey took them about 2 months. Once they got there, they landed a lot further north than they had anticipated. So they had a very cold first winter. Most of them didn't even get off the boat for about 3 months after they had landed. It was too cold. They didn't know how to get food from the local environment. And so once spring came, there was a Native American named Squanto. And this Native American, he had actually been captured by pirates a few years earlier. He was brought to Spain. He learned English. And then he came back to America through England, and he was the guy who was helping the Pilgrims to learn how to farm, learn how to survive off the land. So he taught them how to plant corn. And once they had their first successful corn harvest, that's when they celebrated Thanksgiving. All the Pilgrims, all the Indians got together and they shared the bounty of the harvest for that year before winter started. So one of the reasons why it was way colder than they expected, if you look at the map, what they expected was for North America to be about the same temperature as Europe at the same latitude. So if you look at the map, where they landed, it's the same latitude as Spain and Portugal. So they were expecting a warmer winter. But because of the way the ocean currents work, it's actually much colder at the same latitude in North America as compared to Europe. So their first winter was very, very cold. So that's the history of Thanksgiving. What we do on Thanksgiving now, we share good food with our families. There's a very famous parade. You can see the picture of Snoopy here. That's called the Macy's Parade. And every morning, very early, around 7 o'clock, they start this parade, and a lot of people watch it on TV. We also watch a lot of football. There's games all day. And so people spend time with their families watching football. And then at the end of the day, once the food is prepared, everybody sits down and they share a meal with their families. So these are some of the foods that we prepare on Thanksgiving. Let's see. Looking for a pen. So you have pumpkin pie, or this is pecan pie, pumpkin pie, cranberries. This would be some kind of casserole, most likely macaroni. This is stuffing, potatoes. We have sweet potato casserole here. This is green bean casserole. The most famous is turkey. We always have turkey. And then rolls. Another thing we really do a lot of, like I said earlier, is we watch a lot of football. There's games all day, multiple teams, college teams and professional teams. But the most important part of Thanksgiving is we spend time with our families. It's the biggest travel day of the year in the US. A lot of people are traveling. And so for that reason, plane tickets, bus tickets, everything's very, very expensive. But yeah, the most important part of the holiday is that you get to spend time with your family, and your closest friends. And then another famous thing about Thanksgiving is the day after Thanksgiving, we have something called Black Friday, and it's a huge shopping day. You guys have probably seen the videos of people rushing to get into malls, pushing through the doors and fighting over things like TVs. These are some pictures of Thanksgiving last year. I couldn't really find turkey here in Colombia, so I made chicken. The way I cook it is I stuff it with vegetables. I'll cover it with bacon, and then I roast it in the oven. In the middle picture is a picture of a plate we prepared. And then over here on the right, there's a picture of some sweet potato casserole. Okay. That's the full presentation on Thanksgiving. I'm going to open up the floor to questions. If anybody has any questions now. Let's see.
Yes, I have a question. May I?
Go ahead.
What are you going to do yourself today? You're going to do the same thing that last year?
Yeah, definitely. Today we woke up early and we started cooking. My wife's making pies. We started chopping some vegetables in advance. We're peeling potatoes. We're going to try to make a really big meal because we have about 8 people coming over. Some friends we made here just to hang out.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
You are American or you like celebrate this day?
So my name is Mike. I'm from the USA. I'm from a state called Texas. So I'm American. And so that's why I'm celebrating Thanksgiving.
I have another question. Do you know why the turkey is the animal most representative this day?
Okay. In North America, we have lots of turkeys in our forests. We have wild turkeys and they run around and people hunt them. So it was a really easily available source of meat for the Indians and for the original colonists and pilgrims. And so it's just become a traditional food that we eat on Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Yes. Any questions about the food or the history? About Black Friday?
Yes, me.
Go ahead, Juana.
Juana, yes. Have you ever participated in a Black Friday?
I've never gone shopping on Black Friday. I tend to avoid the malls and those places on those days. I generally do my shopping before. If I'm buying presents, I'll buy it before Black Friday because I don't want to go to the mall and be around a whole bunch of people fighting over TVs and stuff like that. So no, I've never been.
Me.
Laura, yes.
Okay, what do you usually buy when you go to Black Friday?
So I don't go to Black Friday. I'll buy my presents before Black Friday. But generally when people go shopping on Black Friday, there's a lot of things on sale. So for example, you could find a TV for 25% off. Everything's much cheaper on that day. It's to encourage people to go and shop. So a lot of discounts.
Big things, yes.
Yeah, discounts.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Why do you use a lot of potatoes in your plates?
Can you say that again?
Why do you use a lot of potatoes in your preparations?
Why do we eat potatoes?
Well, a lot of potatoes, a lot of plates with potatoes, not only one. I saw like a tree, if I'm not bad. In that imagine that you show us.
So why do we eat potatoes? I know potatoes are another American crop. They're from South America, and it's just something we have a lot of in the United States as well. The idea is you eat things that are really in season and that there's a lot of. So we have a lot of potatoes, sweet potatoes, pumpkins. It's all the things that they're harvesting in the fall.
Okay, not is a question, but I would like to know like a little more about the history of Black Friday.
Okay. I think Black Friday started in the 1960s in Philadelphia. That's where the name came from. There were some riots, a lot of protests, and somehow the name got shared with Black Friday that we do after every Thanksgiving. I don't really know the full history of Black Friday like I do with Thanksgiving. It's not really something they teach us too much about in school. But Black Friday is just the day that people go shopping.
I have a question. Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm Lucas from Upper D, and I want to ask about the principal meaning of this holiday. It's Thanksgiving. So in my mind, I am thinking that the people give thanks for everything. And I want to ask you about that the Americans give thanks in any way on this day as the simple things to the more to the other ones that are more bigger. Sorry. And thank you for your explication about this holiday.
Yeah. So thanks for your question. On Thanksgiving, basically we sit around the table and right before we eat, we'll kind of say a prayer. And everybody who's sitting at the table will go around and say the thing that they're the most thankful for, whether it's their family or the food or something that happened to them. But yes, Lucas, that's a big part of the holiday. You say what you're thankful for. And that's why it's called Thanksgiving.
I have another question. Do you think that you're still celebrating this day for tradition or because you are like really thankful?
I think both. I think it's celebrating for tradition and also because we're thankful. So definitely both.
I have another question.
Go ahead.
Why is football often associated with American Thanksgiving?
Can you say that again?
Why is football often associated with American Thanksgiving?
Football, why is it associated with Thanksgiving? It's become a tradition. Every Thanksgiving, there's a lot of football games on TV. And so while some people are cooking, other people sit down in the living room and watch TV with everybody else.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Another really common thing that happens on Thanksgiving, they'll have races. So like a 5K race, and they're called turkey trots. And so what happens in these races is you go and you run early in the morning on Thanksgiving. And if you win your age group, or if you win the race, they give you a free turkey.
I have another question.
Go ahead.
For me, I always like watch TV shows from America, and obviously there is always an episode about Thanksgiving and that thing. But I have never understood why they say thanks if for example, the English people came to America only to visit or to conquist America, and why they were so kind to them. I think they were supposed to be the enemies.
Okay, so with the Pilgrims, they were religious. They were religious people, and they were leaving England so they could practice their religion freely. Because at that time, the Church of England was the only church you were allowed to be a part of in England. So the Pilgrims left to go to America to practice their religion freely. The Pilgrims are an example. They weren't conquistadors. They weren't conquerors or anything like that. They actually made friends with the Indian tribes that were in their local area. And there was peace between the Pilgrims and the Indians for 50 to 100 years.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's a very peaceful story, Thanksgiving.
Me. Exists another way to celebrate it, some different rite, or only is the same to share with your family?
Can you say that question again?
There is another way to celebrate it, the givings thanks, or some exists some different rite, or only is shared with your family in your diner. I don't know.
Yeah, traditionally, you just share a meal with your family and your closest friends, whoever's in the area, whoever has taken a trip to come see you. And that's what we do traditionally.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, thanks everybody for coming. If there's more questions, I'll stay to answer them. But that's pretty much the full presentation. And you guys are free to go unless you have more questions.
Thank you so much. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.